Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend has released old text messages from their relationship, and people are pretty mad about it. Biden continues to be creepy around children, and Ben and Jerry's got a taste of their own medicine. Welcome back to the Dumpster Fire Podcast Live. My name is Olivia Claire, and I am, of course, joined by my producer. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hey, it's me, Derek. I won't be saying too much. I just came back from a concert last night and my voice is still kind of rough and hurts to talk, so I'm just gonna stay silent and let these guys talk it out.
And of course, we are joined again by our guest. Would you introduce yourself, sir?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Raymond G. Stanley Jr. Uh, I am the son of my father, and I'm here to talk about some shit. Let's go.
Thank you for that, Raymond. I'm glad we clarified some things here. Before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go to our Patreon for exclusive content you won't get anywhere else. So we're going to jump right into this first story about Jonah Hill, the actor, who apparently dated this surfer chick for some time back in 2021. And I guess he sent messages that she's a little bit upset about. So we're going to go ahead and go through some of these. I'm not going to read every single text message out loud because, quite honestly, there are so many. But he said that he is literally the best boyfriend on earth. That was one that he had said. The one that people are really, really mad about, the one that went super viral, is this one. It says, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless and appropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, or friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are the boundaries for my romantic partnership. My boundaries with you, based on the ways that these actions have hurt our trust. She goes on to post other ones where he talks about how he's sick of her attitude, and he said that he said like F that contest, F that place. He goes on and says stuff about like mutual respect with boundaries in relationships. And she goes and she's putting all of these on her Instagram stories, how they all came out. He said that he respects her and her surfing, but he also respects himself enough to not want her to post these kinds of things on the internet. And they broke up. I don't know when they broke up. I know they dated in 2021, so I'm not sure when they broke up. But she said that she hopes that Jonah Hill has a girl and that she becomes like a daughter one day and she becomes like a staunch feminist so that he has to deal with guys like him or something along those lines. So those are the text messages that people are just really upset about. As a woman, I don't know. Could he have been a bit more respectful in some of his messages? Sure, he could have been a little bit nicer. He did use some vulgar language. However, he did set boundaries in a relationship that she then violated. And then when he got upset that she violated boundaries, turned into did the feminist thing where she's like, "Well, you're a misogynist." So it's hard to, I can see why she might see this as controlling, but I can also see respecting boundaries in a relationship. So, Raymond, what do you think about all of this?
Is this the lady he got pregnant? Do we know he got someone pregnant and had a baby like in 2002, 2001?
No, I don't think this is her.
Okay, so he's romping from lady to lady, and he has expectations, which is fine. I mean, we all do. We all want to make you want a partner to be a partner. You're not just there to do. Um, I mean, you kind of are just there to humping and loving sometimes, but if you want serious goals, you do have to set boundaries. My lady's not going to be out there romping in the club with her titties hanging out. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. But it's just I don't believe him. I think he is a narcissist. I think he wants to be controlling, and I think she's a bad person too. She's some kind of feminist rage monster. And so they're kind of perfect for each other, but they're not perfect for each other in the real world. They're perfect for each other online until something goes wrong out of their way, and then they're all mad, and now they have the whole community, the whole Twitter world, the whole me and you talking about these people like they mean something, like it fucking matters.
Yeah, and I think because Jonah Hill is such a famous actor, people are naturally this kind of is reminiscent of how Taylor Swift was dating Maddie Healy for some time, and people kind of went crazy
Mm,
over the fact that Maddie Healy made some statements, and oh now
yeah.
Taylor can't like. I don't think we should ever be dictating who someone dates or their actions as long as they're not crossing a line. there's no reason to be super critical. We don't know what she was saying or posting or doing this entire time. If she was blatantly just disrespecting any boundary that he put out, or if she tried and he still was being a bit more manipulative. I mean, most actors are very narcissistic, so I'm not surprised that he's narcissistic at all. But I am a bit surprised it's taken 2 years for her to come out and share these. Like, it just seems like really weird timing to wait 2 years and then be like, man, I'm gonna share these now. Like, that's what bothers me. Like, why didn't you do it when it was a problem?
Well, it's a typical lady. Nothing against ladies.
Facts.
But you guys, I mean, grudges are held hard to the heart. And when something doesn't go your way, you're like, well, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna bring these old things that matter not to men, but to anyone else. Throw it out in the world. So wait, real quick, first, did he post this online? Like, this is how I run my shit. His relationships. He posted it, or did he talk to her in a private message?
No, that was him texting her. So those are all screenshots of old text messages from 2021. Okay. And then she posted them.
Okay, yeah. So something's up. Yeah. So she's holding something. Yeah.
Right, and that's for me. Like, I get it. I mean, I kind of just go with the fact that most of these people in Hollywood are probably not great people to begin with. I've never thought that people in Hollywood were great, upstanding people. But at the same time, like, if you hold yourself to a certain standard and somebody is violating that standard, I don't see why you would stay in that relationship. Again, he probably should have just cut it off and, like, been done if his trust was violated, rather than sending a bunch of, like, toxic messages. But then for her to go and post those same messages and be like, oh, it's been 2 years, but, like, now I'm going to bring this back. Like, are you stuck on him? Are you, like, what was your goal in posting those? Because
what do you find toxic about those messages?
What? Sorry.
You said the messages were toxic. I read them. I
like,
don't know.
Some of the tone that he used, like, F your contest, F, the people there, like, that's a bit, like, far. She's a surf instructor, and her name is, I'm sorry, we didn't even say her name. Her name is Sarah Brady. She's Sarah Brady. She is a surfing instructor in California, and so she'll post pictures of her surfing, which naturally she's not fully clothed. I mean, she's surfing, right? But he thought, I get that's your career, but, like, if you have stuff hanging out, basically, like, I don't want you posting that. And she entered this relationship. I guess this was, all throughout their relationship, but you enter a relationship with someone who's, like, not comfortable with you posting that, and expecting them to just be comfortable with it. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but, I don't think anyone should change their expectations for anyone else. That's just me. Like, I don't think that, I wouldn't go out and date someone who's posting, like, topless photos and, like, thirst traps and, like, modeling pictures. I just would be like, I'm not comfortable with you posting, like, modeling. If it's, like, clothing or whatever, like, fine. But if it's, like, you're, like, half nude, you're modeling, I'm probably not going to be too excited about that. And I can see why he has that same thought.
Real quick, just if your knee thought, that makes sense. Well, exactly what you're saying. Like, nobody wants that. I mean, I guess if you're making money for the family, then maybe. But if you have morals and standards, you're like, bitch. I mean, miss, please, I love you. Don't show your butts.
Right. Like, no, but, like, if you're posting these, I think that, like, there's a stereotype in the modeling industry that you have to be half clothed, but, like, there's plenty of models that are fully clothed and beautiful people, and, like, so you have the opportunity to do those things as well if you truly love modeling. Go model, but you don't have to model by, having everything out if you don't want to. It's always up to, I think, if that's a boundary that you've created in a relationship and someone violates that boundary, you have every right to be upset about it. I don't know what boundaries she set. If she set any, I don't know. She made a big deal about him kissing somebody for, like, a scene in a movie, and kind of, like, retorted with that when he was upset about something that she did. And she's like, he's like, it was for a scene. It's my job. And then she's like, well, I could say the same thing, but I also think, like, if that was a boundary she had and she didn't communicate it and then got mad about it, that's also a problem. So, like, if she didn't say, hey, I'd really appreciate if you didn't do any scenes where you're kissing other women, and then he went and did it, I can see why then she'd be like, that's not okay. But if she never said, hey, I know you're an actor, this comes with the job sometimes, and, like, it bothers me. If she never said that, then, like, I mean, what was he supposed to do?
Communication is key.
That job, but,
communication is key. A good relationship, if you're gonna have a good relationship, communication, and I guess anything in life, job, business, anything we do, if we don't communicate, we think the other person can speak our minds or read our minds, and that's not gonna work. So yeah, if she didn't communicate with him as he communicated with her, then that's an issue. And we don't know their personal lives. I don't know every interaction between them. I just give
Right.
zero shits about them, and I think they're both probably bad people.
Yeah, and we're seeing what she wants us to see. So like I
Yes.
don't think he's come back and said anything yet. So I'm curious how that's gonna play out. But I guess my biggest thing here is just how people are reacting to it.
Yeah.
Taking sides immediately. I don't know what, like, do they look bad? I mean, they don't look great in some of the messages, but they don't look like he's, assaulting her or anything like that. So I
What was
just
it?
think
Was it
that
emotional abuse? Emotional abuse type shit. That's what I
I was
see
just calling
everywhere.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, like, do I really give a shit about Jonah Hill? Not really, but this is blown up into such a big story that it feels like something you should talk about, because that way you're like, hey, look, acknowledged it. And if we talk about the differences in men and women, and we talk about feminism on this channel, every so often, and how toxic feminism is, I feel like the way that she came about it, saying he's a misogynist, like, you can say he's narcissistic without saying he's a misogynist, and it can be
Yes.
true.
Amen.
Is he a misogynist? I don't know, because like that's one interaction with one female, and maybe he is. Maybe he's a raging misogynist. I don't know. But like maybe he just was in a bad relationship, and so you took that as now he hates every woman in his life. I don't know. I really don't. And
So
do I really want to?
So she states you're right. But so she's stating he's a misogynist, or is that the fucking media playing it up? I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not super into this story, so I'm not sure if she's like he's a misogynist after what 2 years of relationship, or media reads these texts and like Twitter is saying, oh, he's a misogynist now. I don't know that answer.
Yeah,
Because Twitter people are crazy. You know how they get out. They're
oh my
super.
gosh, they're
They love
insane.
their.
They're
Yeah,
insane.
they love their celebrities. They go crazy. I'm like, folks. I guess on my side, if it's a side, I think they like Trump and all this baloney, which is great because he's got to free us from the tyrannical cult dictatorship. I might have made that up. Don't take that to heart. But
It's okay. It's okay.
but
You're getting there.
yeah. But like, but I just this get all crazy. Twitter's fucking cesspool of shit. It's like you open up Twitter and it's like you open up a book of people screaming at you. You open up to and you like,
And then shut it really fast. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
yeah.
But Threads isn't any better. Let's just be real. So like yeah. So I feel like a lot of people feel entitled to their opinions, which great, fine. You can have your opinions, and sure, you can share it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that Jonah Hill is a misogynist. But it also doesn't mean that she is not right in some capacity, that he said some things that were bad. So it's kind of it's both, right? It's both.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. One of my friends from college just said this would have been a great article for gender communication back in college. This is the one person I took gender communications with, because we needed the credits and I wasn't going to suffer alone. So I was like, you're taking it because you need the credit. So this,
Nice.
yeah. And we survived that class together. We did it, but that's hilarious. That is so funny. That would have been perfect. I'm not sure how our friend Renee would have felt about that, the professor, but that's so true. This would have been a great one. She would have gone off about how misogynistic he is and how feminism should take over the planet. But it was college, so of course, naturally, we were like the two conservatives in that class. It was great. So that's Jonah Hill. That's Sarah Brady. I don't know if he's gonna respond. Probably best to just not say anything and let it die. That's what I would do. I would just not say a word. And
like James Franco. When he got
Yeah.
accused of all this baloney, he's like, fuck you, bitches. And then he didn't say anything.
And he didn't say a word.
Right.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I don't know if he's I haven't seen him around much, but I've not heard it. People screaming about it on Twitter since it happened.
Yeah, no, I haven't either. So the next story that we're gonna pull up.
Oh, our transition, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. And not the transition you're thinking. Okay, so Joe Biden.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jonah Hill is now Miss Joanna Hill.
Joanna Hill. President Joe Biden is creepy, and we all know this. Okay, you can't tell me that this man isn't creepy and has a history of being creepy. And so we're gonna pull up this tweet from the lovely Miss Sarah Gonzalez, and quickly play this video of Joe Biden. I don't know what he was doing, but We're gonna go ahead and play that clip, Derek. If you can go ahead and do that.
Had to take all these pictures? Yeah. You're good. Let me whisper a secret. Don't tell mommy what I told you. You got it?
Mm-hmm. I'm recording.
Oh, you're recording.
Can we get a selfie? Can we get a selfie?
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Our lady, she likes Biden. Sorry.
Now, one thing we'll clarify is that we both know that the sniffing wasn't real, like the audio sniff. Did he sniff the kid? Probably, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like an audible.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a, but it was like a. Did he sniff? I'm sure he did, but it wasn't audible like that. So that was added later. And Derek made a good point earlier, and since he can't talk, so I will speak for him as women try to do to their men. So he's not even my man, but I'll do it anyway. My subordinate.
Oh shit.
Derek made a good point earlier that he they'll post these things in the clip. So the sniffing, right? The sniffing sound, they'll post it, and then they'll be like, it's fake. Because the sniffing sound was fake. So this clip is like, fact checkers, Snopes gonna come out and be like, false. Not real. Incorrect. When it was creepy, and he probably did sniff the child, and then said, don't tell your mom what I told. What did he say? What did this man say to this child? Like, that is so creepy. If an old man came up, I don't care who he is, president or not, comes up to my child, leans in, says something that I didn't hear, and then says, don't tell your mom what I told you. You're damn right. I'm going to be like, what did you say to my kid? Or I'm going to turn to my child and say, can you repeat that to mommy? Like, what did he say? Like, that's going to be my reaction. Is like, tell mommy what he said. Like,
He said you can be a boy if you want to.
I wouldn't put it past him.
No, I
He's
wouldn't.
like, come to the White House. Yeah, I don't know what,
Come to the White
like,
House.
like, oh,
Can I just say that it is a fake sniffing, yes, right.
yes.
But this is why I hate. I mean, I'm not fans of these right-wing influencer people. They're all bad as people on the left. They're always stirring up shit. Like it's funny that it's a sniff, but they're all like, some of these people think it's real. Like they have like a lot of followers and people watch them and listen to them, and they actually think this is actual truth. I mean, I like fire with fire. That's fine, but I don't. It's not fire with fire when you're making shit up. It's not fire with fire when you're trying to rile up the crowd just for no reason at all. That's fine. I might have contradicted myself. I'm just saying, it's bullshit. They all fucking spew the same. They all want fucking clicks. They all want rage. They all want bait. And they're not any better than the fucking lefty retards. Just angers me for that. They're just as bad.
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
It's just the way that he has a history of being creepy to children, right? And it's not like he's like unaware of the fact that he's like, there's been press around this. Like, he obviously knows. Like, his team has definitely said something, right? They have to. For him to then do this, and he sees the camera, he like smiles for it too. He smiles and everything, and like, I cannot imagine being the president of the United States. You sniff a child's head or whatever you do, you whisper something incoherent to said child in front of the mom, say, don't tell mom what I said. You're telling me that this man doesn't have, at the very least, creepy tendencies. I'm not gonna, call him specific names because those are very heavy names to accuse somebody of being, but he has creepy tendencies, very groomer-ish tendencies with children. We've seen this at different like events, like photos where he like pulls the kid in and then like leads.
I wouldn't even say. I want to say groomer because he's maybe he did it with his children, but he's more just pedo more than anything. He's like straight. He's kid grooming. He doesn't have to pedo or groom kids because he would just go right to the action of being a weirdo, creepy fella who does things to smell kids' hair. I mean, I like the smell of ladies' hair, but I'm not going to grab a 4-year-old and be like, give me what you got. What you got, girl? I got hairy legs. You want to pet him?
Yeah, the kids love him.
Corn pop.
Corn pop, that's so funny. Sarah in the chat just said, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. That's a good one. It's a
Yeah.
good one. But like, what if that's what he said? Like, that's the only circumstance in which I would absolutely like laugh if that's what he said, right? Like, that's the one time it's okay if that's what he leaned in and said. But like the fact that like we have these instances on camera, and you're right that the right wing is so bad about like, I'm gonna use the word misinformation. Like, they're literally spreading that. They're being like, he was sniffed. No, that was added. And like, let's just be honest about what it is, because if we're gonna say that and we're lying about the biggest part that we're portraying, like, we're not getting to the root of the problem, which is that he's creepy and that he's like being weird with children. Like, ignore the sniffing. It's still weird. The video is still really weird if you ignore the fact that like he didn't sniff a kid. He probably did, again. Like, we just didn't hear it. But it's still creepy. Like, regardless, whispering to a child and saying, "Don't tell your mom what I told you." Last time I checked, like, those stories never end well.
No, and the left, like, they can, once they, now it's been community noted. I've seen the community notes on Twitter, and it's going to be, a lot of folks will be like, okay, these people are lying, and it loses credibility to the non-cult movement. It makes us look like a cult, as bad as the fucking cult, and that doesn't help us in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. It makes us look bad. Like, it makes us look like we're trying to purposefully doctor footage, like they might, and that's not
right.
Like, I hate that that's the one that went viral, not like the original. Like, here's just like the clip, and people are adding it and then tweeting it. Like, regardless of the sniff, just take that out of there entirely. The video's creepy.
Yes.
It's creepy. It's so creepy. I would be just as freaked out by the video had there not been that audio put there. I still would have been like, that is so weird. Why is he acting like that? I would, like, regardless, the thing that bothers me is what he said after. And like, then he goes to like take a picture with it. Oh, it's so
He's like,
weird.
you got this.
He's like,
you got this. So
he's like, you get it on camera, like, sir. So, I mean, I feel like in these instances when we doctor footage or we make these things look not worse than they are because they're really bad, but like we make it so that we're following that narrative of like, oh, he sniffs kids, instead of just being like, he's creepy to kids. Like, sniffing or no sniffing, it's creepy. Okay, like,
to sniff or not to sniff. That
he
is
probably
the
sits there. I was just gonna say, he probably sits there and goes, to sniff or not to sniff. Whether it's noble for me to do so, or I used to know that whole like soliloquy. I can't believe I remember that word, but I don't anymore.
Soliloquy, nice.
Soliloquy. That's like the little monologues that Shakespeare has. I used to know the whole thing, and I wish I still did because this would have been a really good moment to do that. But like, I forgot. Oops. Okay, so
before we move on, doing this creepy thing, it just shows us look bad. Shows that I hate saying us because I'm not part of their movement. I'm part of freedom faction, as some would say. But then you get like folks like Ben and Jerry's and all these people, corporations, and all these folks are like just want to virtue signal and say that we're wrong, they're right because of one document or one video that we doctored, or not we. I hate saying that. One video people doctored got shared around, and everyone's just lying about it, and they kind of know you're lying about it because if you looked into it for a second, you would know that it was a fake sniff.
Like, that sniff was way too audible in that auditorium to be real.
Yeah.
It was so loud. It was right up to the microphone, and he was not up to the microphone because we didn't hear what he said to the kid, or we would have heard what he said to the kid. So, like, if it was like a sniff and you could hear what he was saying, then I'd be like, okay, like, that's more believable, but you can't. So we're going to move on. This last story is actually a pretty long story, so that's why we kind of went through the first two rather quickly because there's a lot of information on this next one. Ben and Jerry's. Good ice cream, right? Yeah. No, they're woke. Well, are they? We don't know. But
yes, they are.
They tweeted 100%. On the 4th of July. We actually almost covered this on the 4th of July. I almost put this on our topics, but then I was like, no, I can't. Like, they're just virtue signaling. But then it evolved, and I'm like, okay, now we can talk about it. So on the 4th of July, they tweeted, "This 4th of July, it's high time we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it." They go on to explain that Mount Rushmore is stolen land, which is true, but like, come on, like,
is it stolen?
It is. I did a report my senior year of high school, and like, I remember talking about this one specifically. It was about Native Americans, and so I don't remember. I used to be kind of lefty in high school, but anyway, regardless, I did a report on Native Americans and like mistreatment of Native Americans in high school, and so like, I remember doing this and seeing this, and like, it technically wasn't ours to begin with, and we technically didn't really take it in the best, but you know what? Regardless.
Yeah.
That's not the point. The point that they're saying that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land, and Derek, why? And so they finessed. They have the land, and I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, the fact that they're using you're an ice cream company. Like, stop. But the best part about this story for me is what came out just a few days later. 3 days later, we have an article from the New York Post that covers this. A Vermont chief says that the Ben & Jerry's headquarters is on stolen land in Vermont. So, his name is Don Stevens, and he is a descendant from I'm not even going to try, I don't want to butcher it, but from a tribe, a native tribe that are recognized in Vermont, had said that he looks forward to corresponding with them and how they can better benefit indigenous people. So basically, he Uno reversed them. He was like, yeah, okay, but Ben & Jerry's got the full Uno reverse and deserves every second of it. And when I saw the story, I thought it was so funny, and I was like, man, I don't know why, but I remember seeing an article about how Ben & Jerry's has their at their headquarters, they have a flavor graveyard where they have fake headstones for the flavors that are retired and gone now. And so I was like, oh, I wonder if that's on their website, because I'm stupid and I love those stupid little roadside attractions. And so I was like, I want to look into it, right? Well, I somehow start going through their entire website, and I get to their values page. It's so cringy. It is so cringy. So they have 3 big values, 3 big ones, and they have these little or not animations, these little animations on the bottom where they say that their 3 big values are human rights and dignity. 2 is social and economic justice, and the 3rd is environmental protection, restoration, and regeneration. That's so great. I love that for an ice cream company. It's an ice cream company. What? So
Hey, I'm gonna come out here and put a little note
okay.
out here. I'm sorry I can't get a better zoom on their website. Every time I try to zoom out, instead of making the page smaller, it just makes the words smaller, so I can't get the full
You're trying to get the full
website.
beauty of the.
I can't get the full beauty of the website in here, so I'm sorry, guys. If you really want to see their full
Go to their
website,
values
you can
page.
go look it up yourself. It's not anything worth your
But
time,
the
though.
oh, hi
You
T-Bone.
can go
But
left. You can go left to right, though, right?
But the one that I really wanted people to see is the one that's in the center, anyways, because how beautiful, There's a bunch of different colored arms. There's only one white arm, and then the rest are
That's
all
that white arm. That's
there's
that white arm. That's like a lightly tanned Latino.
Yeah, it's but there's only one compared to the others, and so that's pretty funny. And then if you want to click just below that where it says the progressive values, Derek, I want to read through this because I think it's just wow. It's wow. That's all I can say about it. So I'm going to go ahead and narrate this for you guys. You're welcome beforehand. So
nice.
um,
Thank you.
they say, we have progressive, nonpartisan social mission. We have a progressive, nonpartisan social mission that seeks to meet human needs and eliminate injustices in our local, national, and international communities by integrating these concerns in our day-to-day business activities. Bullet point 1. Capitalism and the wealth it produces do not create opportunity for everyone equally. We recognize that the gap between the rich and the poor is wider than any time since the 1920s. We strive to create economic opportunities for those who have been denied them and to advance new models of economic justice that are sustainable and replicable.
Can I read the second one?
You want to read the second one?
Yeah, let's switch. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, by definition, the manufacturing of products creates waste. We strive to minimize our negative impact on the environment.
Number 3, the growing of food is overly reliant on the use of toxic chemicals and other methods that are unsustainable. We support sustainable and safe methods of food production that reduce environmental degradation, maintain the productivity of the land over time, and support the economic viability of family farms and rural communities.
Last but not least, we seek and support non-violent ways to achieve peace and justice. We believe government resources are more productively used in meeting human needs than in building and maintaining weapons systems.
Wow, it's so nonpartisan that it feels partisan. That's crazy. I can't believe how nonpartisan Ben and Jerry's is in Vermont.
You
Wow. Yeah, they're like, since the 1920s. You mean right before the Great Depression?
Yeah.
Is that really what you want to be saying? And the fact that like capitalism and its wealth doesn't create. You are benefiting from capitalism. You're a giant company. You're an international company that benefits from capitalism. In a capitalistic society, you literally benefit. Sorry, I'm getting heated, but like,
get
you
it, get it,
literally
girl, get it.
I get it. Like, you literally benefit from these things. You would not exist without capitalism, and then you're like, our dairy farms, the dairy road, like, are you kidding me? Like,
They.
like,
It's like the same thing they do on the one side. They all speak out their ass, and it doesn't match what comes out their mouth.
No, like the fact this ice cream company, like a good pint of Ben and Jerry's, like every American does. Okay, but dang it, I'm taking my business to Edie's or Briar's or whoever else makes ice cream that's good.
Turkey
I'm gonna
Hill,
go to them.
good ice cream.
Yeah, we have like local ones here. We have Hudsonville, which is literally like 25 minutes from here. They have a whole ice cream brand, national brand. I will take my business elsewhere when the Ben and Jerry's already in my house is gone because dang it, I'm not going to waste some good ice cream that was already purchased. But I won't buy anymore. Okay.
I agree. These fuckers need to go down like fucking Bud Light and Target. These things are pieces of shits. They're like worse than them. They didn't do a beer advertising to children. They're doing. There's just their anger and spew and hate for everything that's not what they believe in is disgusting and terrible. So they need to get
Like,
shut the
instead
fuck
of-
down. Fuck those
Like,
fuckers.
instead of thanking this country for like making you
Yeah.
the company you are, you're like, and so are you. Literally, look in the mirror, my guy. Literally,
Thank you for making me rich. I know I'm so mad at you. It's fucking.
like, oh, I am rich and I make really tasty ice cream, but like, give the indigenous their land back. How about you give America its dignity back? You uncultured swine. Okay.
Dang.
This last article we have, Raymond, you brought this one to our attention, so I'll let you kind of go over it here. But is Ben and Jerry's as woke as they claim?
Well, as we talked about, these people are just most of the folks are left. Everyone's hypocrites. They're all hypocrites, and it's kind of sucks. You got to bring it up because we know they're hypocrites, and it's nighttime. We have to establish that it's a known fact that most of the time, majority of the time, what they say is all hypocrisy.
Yep.
So if you scroll down a little bit, you see their first thing is they tweeted. I don't know if you can see that, Mr. Dents or Mintz. People cannot be illegal, and it is enshrined in the 1951 Refugee Convention that crossing a border illegally should not impact your asylum claim.
Also, why is it the UK? Is this like in the UK that they're talking about? Are they talking about like UK?
No, it's
like,
still the
what
UK.
the heck?
It's all the UK. And now the UK is burning, and France is burning because they let all those fucking immigrants. Nothing. Hey, don't get mad at me. But you let in the wrong people, and you don't know what's going on. So look at France burn. Look at all the rapes.
UK.
Sorry, all the grapes, all the grape banging in the UK. It's just, it's all real. You keep letting in the fucking people. Your stupid humanities. You think you have some kind of heart, but all it does is ruin and kill people who were living there peacefully and nice. But it's the horrible. Bring in bad people and they hurt people. Fuck your face. Now I'm heated.
And then go down to the next, Eric.
Yes,
Scroll down
please.
to that.
Please.
Because
Go
this is
ahead.
the one that when you sent me this got my attention immediately. It's giving Robin DiAngelo. It's really just like, because she wrote that stupid white supremacy book. I forget what it's called. Fragility.
White fragility.
White fragility. That's the one. We must dismantle white supremacy. And they talk about the murder of George Floyd was the result of inhumane police brutality that's perpetrated by a culture of white supremacy, which is so funny considering that ever since the autopsies came out, we found out that he would have died anyways, likely that day. But what do
May I
know?
bring back real quick? My bad. My whole point was that they said they cannot be illegal and then enshrined in 1951.
Oh
But
yeah, sorry.
they've been targeted by migrant workers on the dairy farms, including illegal immigrants for poor working standards and conditions. So they have this I'm better than most. We should not we should let everyone in. But then like the people they let in illegally and the people that working at their places are like, yo, you give us bad work conditions. You're like treating us like shit.
Yeah.
We're working 14 hours a day for less than minimum wage. So their words, they have no meaning. There's virtue signaling just like anything else the left cult does.
Yeah, and they talk about kind of farther down in that article, they talk about how apparently Ben and Jerry's really cares about like Americans, like Black Americans, but Black African children, they don't care about because you have young children who are harvesting cocoa
Yes.
for their ice cream. Like they're saying, oh, like everyone's lives are, like we need to treat everybody equally. Capitalism is the devil. I would say
But look at that child.
your
Look at
own
that. Look at
backyard.
that child. Look at that child.
Look at that child. Like, I would, I would tell you to like look in the mirror, but you could just look in your backyard, Ben and Jerry's, and see the little graveyard that you built back there. Instead of ice cream flavors, maybe you should think about it about the kids that got overworked and
Ooh,
died because
snap.
of living conditions.
Nice.
I'm just saying.
You're
It
right.
breaks my heart that young children have to work, and I understand that these industries exist. And that's the one thing I give people when they criticize capitalism is the cheap resources that can be like this stuff, the child labor stuff. That's the criticism I understand. I agree with that criticism. Does that mean to dismantle the whole capitalistic system? No. It means that you need to go back to the root of that issue, which is how we get our products or whatever, and make it more humane, make it more, fair for children. Children shouldn't be working, point blank period, but
Even if they are, even if they are,
that's
they
not
should be
happening.
paid more money. Ben and
They
Jerry's
should
is
be
making
paid.
millions and millions of dollars. No matter what they're doing, they should be the people living the good life in their country.
Exactly. If you're gonna like, and first, I'm sorry, I'm just reading through this article, and the fact that your little acronym is B&J is very fitting for you, so I'm just gonna go with that. But I honestly believe that like these higher ups, if they don't know, they're ignorant. If they know, they don't care, and they are terrible people. So it doesn't look good for them either way, right? That these working conditions are happening. You're either ignorant and you should know more of what's going on in your company, or you know and you don't care and you're a hypocrite. So which would you rather be, ignorant or a hypocrite? Like, at least if you're ignorant, you can at least be like, well, I really didn't understand the full problem. Where if you're a hypocrite and you fully understood the problem, you're just a shitty person. Like, that's just my opinion, is like, then you're just a shitty person in general. And oh my gosh, I don't know why
they didn't get to their position at the hour in their in the business with being ignorant. They're
no,
not,
not at all.
I don't believe any of them are ignorant to the situation at hand. They just want that
I don't
money.
think so either, but benefit of the doubt there. If we look at the two possibilities of what they could be, pretty sure it's, latter, that they are just hypocrites. But if you want to give I'm sure there's people in the company that genuinely don't know, but like the higher ups have to understand that because they started as a small company. And I'm pretty sure the founders are still the same ones who are in charge today. I don't know how old Ben and Jerry's is, but I just don't understand why these companies feel the need to get so political. Like, this is such a political agenda that they are pushing. And then they say it's nonpartisan, which, like, the second you knock on capitalism, it becomes partisan. The second your first bullet point makes you partisan off the bat, because I'm willing to bet that 99% of people on the right that you poll and say, what's the best form of like economic, they're going to say capitalism is the best form of an economic system. Whereas if you pull anybody from the other side and you say, what's the best form of economics, they're probably going to say, like either a hybrid of capitalism and like socialism, or they're just going to say like, in general, like a socialistic economic society is a better one. So they're partisan. They're clearly partisan. They're benefiting from the very thing that they're critiquing. And then they're saying, oh, we strive to minimize the negative impact on the environment. But last time I checked, they haven't changed their packaging. They haven't done any of these things. Like, I went to a school in college that was very like pro sustainability, and we had plates and we had like cutlery and stuff that was like biodegradable, and then we had different organizing bins. Like they actually tried, right?
Yeah.
Now it was up to the students to actually do it, but the college tried, right? Like, I mean, the students really didn't do well, and anyone that went to college with me can speak to that. We get grades in our dorm halls of like how well your building's doing in sustainability, and it was like
Oh
always
yeah.
below like
Okay.
a C. It
Oh
was
yeah.
like, ugh, yeah. So like, but you know, they tried, and I tried my best to like try to organize it well. Like you kind of got used to it after some time. You just knew which one it went in, but like they made an effort to do things that were like biodegradable and all these other, you know, other things that can, and then they had a sustainable business program, which was interesting. So like that, if you're making the effort, I understand. But last time I checked, I didn't see biodegradable Ben and Jerry's, like anything. I haven't seen anything come from them where they're like, you know, they might put in tiny little lettering on the bottom, please recycle this container, but that's about it, right? Like that's all. It's the same thing as McDonald's putting caution hot on their coffee. I mean, it's there, but it's tiny as to not ruin the aesthetic of the packaging. And like, oh God forbid we ruin the Ben and Jerry's aesthetic of cows grazing in a field and weird like pop art all over the place. But they talk about how growing of food is reliant on toxic chemicals. What about the dairy farms that you use? Just curious.
How many cows you got farting out into the environment? Talk to AOC.
Yeah. How's the methane on those farms?
Right.
How's the ozone layer doing? Anyway.
Yeah, they're locked in fucking boxes, and they just have to milk the cows out. The cows grow up, live, die, dead. Grow up, live, die, dead.
Exactly.
And that's what
live,
they do.
die, dead.
It's a repeat.
Fair.
It's a repeat thing. People are disgusting. They're horrible. But you know what? I believe someone called them out lately. They've been called out for the giving their indigenous land back. You talk a lot of game. That's what happens when these fucking retards. They got a game. They're gonna spew and shit online. But then when you have a chance to give back, are you gonna give back? Or are you gonna just say no? Like they've been called out, right?
Right, and it's so funny that they like make these political statements, and then when it finally comes back to bite them, they don't know how to respond. And like, it's like, well, at least like live what you're preaching. Like, you know, it's one thing. I see these companies. I kind of went on a deep dive last night because I don't know why, but I did it, of other companies that have like values listed on their website. The worst thing I saw was like pride-esque stuff that's kind of still left over from, you know, or like wedding stuff that might promote like a bride and a bride or groom. That's like the worst I saw on most of these websites was like rainbow stuff. Like, all right, well, that's not something I'm like totally like not like that's gonna happen. They're gonna cater to an audience, especially these like candy companies that do weddings and stuff. Like M&M's had like a whole wedding page that had like, and M&M's are my favorite candy in the entire world.
Are they?
Oh my gosh, I love M&M's. So fun fact about me, I am like, if I simp for anything, it's M&M's, right? So especially the red one. No, that's weird.
Made by Hershey, ladies and gentlemen, made by Hershey. Let's not forget that.
Mars. It's made by Mars.
Which is made by Hershey.
Shut up, Raymond. So I really like M&M's. I can't help it. If anyone could perfectly replicate it, then I would be a fan of them instead. But no one has come close to perfecting that recipe. And until there's an alternative that's just as good, I'm sorry. They're getting. I have a dispenser back here, if you guys can see, with mini M&Ms.
Oh, shit.
I'm not kidding. I have a mini M&M dispenser at my desk. I am obsessed with M&Ms. So the fact that, like, I went on there and they had something about like pride-ish stuff. It wasn't like overt, but it was there. And it's like, I'd rather have that because I feel like most companies are going to cater to that audience as well as a traditional audience, as opposed to being like, here's our progressive values and here's how, like, those are very different to me because one is just saying like, we have this merchandise and like, yeah, I don't support it, I don't love it, but like at the same time, you don't have an entire page dedicated to capitalism and the fact that you don't like it, but you benefit from it. At least they embrace the fact that they like benefit from it. They're like, yeah, like we know, but like, you know,
like Trump,
if people want,
we sold money, we sold oil to they're there to, you know, fight for our oil, sold weapons to them. But didn't they get called out by a chief? I heard they got called out by a chief. Like, hey, give us your land if you know if you want to give back.
Yeah, the Vermont chief that said that, and like, I think it's just so funny that like these things like they come back and bite them, right? And like it's like, okay, well, here's a taste of your own medicine. You're on stolen land. Hi, Andrew Jacobs. I'm glad you made it. Yay! I know you've been trying to catch a live show for a minute there. So hi, thank you for all your support. It's
Hey,
been one of our
Andrew
biggest
Jacobs,
supporters.
let's go. Yep.
So
Amen.
I wanted to recognize him. He's been one of our biggest supporters for a very long time.
Go
And
team.
like ever since we started this, he's been supporting us and
Yeah.
been there for us.
Amen.
So I appreciate that. So thank you. But yeah, I just think that like these companies are very hypocritical. And again, something like M&M's on their website, like I think the most they had was like I clicked on the wedding page because you already know at my wedding one day I'm gonna have M&M's and they're gonna be a gift to all of my guests because I love M&M's so much. But sorry,
Team
I'm
Skittles
really
over here,
tired.
ladies and gentlemen. Team Skittles. Fuck M&M's.
They're not the same thing. One is
I love the
sugar, one is
rainbow.
chocolate.
I'm
Love
gay.
the rainbow.
I just became gay now. Call me Raymond.
Congratulations. I'm really proud of you for coming out of the closet and being your authentic self.
Well, I mean, sorry, I'm
love
not
that
gay.
for
I'm
you.
trans, so that means I need to get 10,000 more followers.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Is
Love
that how you do
for
it? Is that how you play the
Yeah,
game these days?
exactly. Just come out of strength. You got it. You got it.
Bam.
So,
Fuck you, Dylan Mulvaney. I'm coming for your title.
Do it. Dylan Mulvaney's been like kind of shying away. So just emerge
Well,
like a phoenix
ladies
from
and
the
gentlemen,
ashes.
day one of girlhood. Teenhood. I'm
There
gonna
you
go teenhood. I'm gonna be in the middle, so I'm gonna be angry and bitchy. So I'm gonna be a teen.
Oh, perfect. Love that for you. I mean, you could literally just be a woman and still do that. But yeah, so just come up and be like, listen, just saying.
Okay.
Y'all have seen me sometimes, but normally I am
Sweetheart. You're usually sweetheart for the most part.
The chat. You need to look at the chat, Raymond. That's
All right.
hilarious. I'm gonna let you be the one to read that out loud because that's
okay. I will
beautiful.
read Go Team Raymond G. Gaymond Me Manly Jr. All right. I like it, Xander.
That's hilarious. That's a good one.
Me Manly Jr. Okay.
I love that for you. So wow,
thank you
a lot
so
has
much.
happened today. Raymond came out. Wow.
Yep. I'm
really
going to
proud
shop
of
at,
you,
I'm gonna go
Raymond.
shop at Target tomorrow and get like a nip tuck for my balls. Whatever they're called, like banana shorts. I don't know.
Friendly. Friendly shorts.
Something.
So friendly, Raymond. Banana shorts.
Well, that makes sense, right? They're taking my banana, putting it against.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Okay,
You need to explain it. I understand. Please don't explain it. I understand.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me draw a picture.
No, it's really okay. You can just pull out that genderqueer book, and I think we'll all understand. So, Tim Pool's favorite book ever.
Yes,
yeah, banana hammock. Gosh, dang it. Okay, so that's kind of all we got for y'all today. We went off the rails there for a minute. I feel like that happened at the end of our last show too.
That always does.
We went off the rails towards the end, and then we're like, all right, we should probably end this now.
Yeah.
Oops. But
I mean, you could throw something in there if you want to at the end. Anything that you've seen personally, if you want to go. I know, but like to set topics is cool and all. But what do you have any opinions on anything as of late?
Let's see. What have I been looking into? So this is interesting. I'm a master's student, as most, if not all of you know. I have been taking classes, and most of them are liberal professors. I'm actually taking one on the Supreme Court, or just like the justice system right now. Yeah, it's what you expect.
Why are you making that face? Okay, is it tough or something?
Because like they want us to talk about like landmark cases, and then they want us to basically like shit on the Dobbs decision. And they want us to, and so of course I go in, I push back, and I'm like, it's interesting that you say that because it's a state right? Like so I go back and like do that stuff. People don't like me in my program, and that's fine because it's all online and they never have to see me. But the point being that they do come back and they say that thing. So I'm excited for next semester because my class, taking two classes. One is just like a public policy course. The second one is a brand new class called The Fate of American Democracy. Ooh. And I am so excited for how leftist this course is going to be. And I'm just going to see right through all of that BS. But like, you got to take one for the team sometimes and take those classes, kind of like my gender communications class that I took with my friend, to really be in the system. Because people can be like, oh, they're saying they offer this course. But if you're not in the course, you don't know what's happening. So you need to be in the course to expose that from the inside. Much easier to do that. So I'm going to be reporting on that one like a lot when the time comes.
Nice.
I think I start next month with that class. And it's a bit concerning, sure. You know, I don't really like it was that or women in politics. And I was almost putting women in politics because I was waiting for dang it, Derek. I was waiting for the opening because I was on the wait list for this class because I guess everyone wants to freaking take it, which fair, but I don't think we're taking it for the same reasons, but whatever. I was like waiting, and the same day they opened up this women in politics course, they actually opened up the spot, like my spot, and I was so excited because I was gonna have to take women in politics or go an extra semester if I didn't get into that class. But I got into it, so I don't have to take women in politics because that would have been just as bad as like I don't want to learn about women in politics, nor do I care. The one politician I probably despise the most is a woman in politics. Like she's a
Really?
woman. Gretchen Whitmer, yeah.
Okay.
So,
oh yeah.
and then the other thing, speaking of lovely Gretchen over here, is there's now a bill in Michigan that went through our house and is now going to the
Oh.
state senate that makes misgendering a crime, punishable by up to 5 years in prison or $10,000.
So it's
Yeah,
whole
the
it dystopian world's coming true.
It is.
What's
It
the-
is. The thought police are there. They're
Yeah,
here.
what's the
They're
saying?
here.
The saying goes is like, in order to control people's minds, you have to control their speech. And this is
Yep.
what this is today, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is fucking today. If you don't know this is real, this is happening. You're blind. You need to wake up. It's happening in
Yeah.
real time. It's going to take a minute or two, a year or two, same thing. But these motherfuckers are coming, and they're fucking going to try to take over and fucking put us down in gulags. Tell us what we say, what we can't say. It's bullshit, and we can't let them. This makes zero.
And this is a modern day newspeak from 1984.
Yes.
Like if you don't get the
Exactly.
reference, 1984. This is basically thought police and like newspeak and the government, Big Brother coming for you.
Yeah.
And it's scary that I live in a state where this is potentially something that could happen, and the only thing is someone has to feel threatened or harassed by the fact I misgendered them. It takes one instance of misgendering for someone to feel harassed or offended or whatever the heck they want to say. Or
Oh, that's why I'm
unsafe or
trans
whatever.
now.
Oh, perfect. Now you can't be offended. Love that for you.
No.
And
No, I'm
And-
only offended. I'm
Oh,
only offended.
only offended. That's gonna be like the new platform where people are
Right.
gonna go and complain about being offended by things. It's gonna be called Only Offended, and they're gonna go on and they're
Okay.
gonna basically just complain about being offended,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's
I identify as only
it's
offended.
safe space. It's your safe space. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's
Isn't that
something
basically
that
Twitter?
happened. But
It-
yeah, it's Twitter.
Primarily.
Yeah, unless you run in the right circles on Twitter, and you might be okay. I just saw today that Elon Musk said Zuck is a cuck, which is my favorite thing ever. And the fact that he said that is literally just like, oh, it's so good. Zuck is a cuck. I love that for him.
Did
So
you
that
see-
happened today too, which is funny.
Can I real quick? Did you see the video of the father who he had his wife take his kids to the doctor because they have to do physicals for like tackle football and shit like that?
Oh,
And he had to take a 9-year-old, 7-year-old to the doctor. 9-year-old went first, and mother was there with them. And the first thing the doctor says is, "Are you a boy or a girl? Do you non-conform, or are you some kind of other a-binary?" And the guy posted online, and his wife said, "Please don't say it to my boys. They're boys. What the fuck are you talking
yeah.
about?" But he was so angry. He was so mad, and he's like, "This is real, folks. I didn't know. He didn't say I didn't know this is true, but I'm sure he didn't. He didn't expect it for his boy to go to the doctor and be like, 'Are you a boy or a girl?'" And Elon replied to that, we need to protect our children. So that's
Yeah.
at least his brain works in
Yeah.
that aspect.
Yeah, and so yeah, he I saw that video. The dad is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
talking, right? And he's like, they were asked this, and I've never
Yeah.
had that conversation with my children, and like so they don't even know what that means, and they're
Right.
confused. Like you're not like if anything, I don't want this on this stuff, but like as a parent, you fill out all the intake forms, right? Put it on if that's really a big concern for all of you. Don't ask a child directly. Put it on that form so that you just go in knowing, because most of the time, if a kid is saying they're one thing, 9 times out of 10, the parent's probably going to be like, yeah, they are. I mean, at least in today's day and age, right? Which is sad, but true.
No, that's a small, tiny. I'm sorry. That's a tiny. There's no way. Black Americans, so many Muslim
that's true.
Americans, American Americans, like majority Americans are not going to be like, my boy is a girl.
No, but I'm saying if
those
they,
retards are tiny. They I'm just saying, real people,
yeah, if they
real world.
truly believe that, like
Yeah.
if the parent is encouraging this and they feel it's
Yeah,
imperative for the
yes.
doctor to know this,
Sure.
those types of parents will put it on forms.
Yes.
So, you know, like majority of the parents that truly believe in this shit will put it on the intake form if they truly believe their kid is X gender today, whatever. And I don't think those parents are right. I don't think that should be on the intake forms. But if a parent finds it that important, they'll find a way to let the doctor know. You don't need to ask a child who doesn't even understand like why they're at the doctor really.
Yeah,
Like they don't realize a physical is to make sure you're in good health and all these things and you're, you know, fit to play a sport. They don't know that. They just know they're at the doctor, right? They don't even have an understanding of why they're there. And that's what the parents are for. It's no one's job except your own to parent your child. And that goes for teachers, that goes for doctors, that goes for literally everybody in these systems that are coming around now and being like, are you a boy, a girl, or are you ABCG, whatever?
Non-conforming? Yeah.
Like, are you non-conforming? Like, what does that mean? Not conforming to what? Reality? Like, that's what. Like,
yes.
That is my new. I'm taking that. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but I'm taking that. I'm running with it. No, everyone says that they're non-conforming. I'm just gonna say non-conforming to reality. If you're gender non-conforming, you're non-conforming to reality.
Bam.
Point blank. Period. It's correct. It is true.
Full stop.
You are an idiot. Okay, so I had to end with an insult on that one. But yeah, anything that you've noticed, Raymond, like recently, news or anything else?
Me, I just I don't know. I guess the whole thing about the Paris is burning. I guess that's a new subject, but that's whatever. Everything's all been about Joe sniffing people, which has been a lie. Which I think I find that disgusting. About the liars.
Yeah.
I had a good thought earlier today. You know what? When I think about today's Sunday, and I think every day moves fast, and life goes fast, and we can't get caught up on Twitter battles or Instagram reels. Oh, never mind. Jesus Christ. Instagram reels. Can I please stop watching them? Because it's fucking disgusting. I try to not go for it, and I give me the same woman who has like 40 likes, and she's walking through a store. And she turns around and all of a sudden she gets on her knees with her tongue out. And I'm like, why? Guys, I want to see them. I want to see some dirt bike riders or some kind of cool, fun things. I don't need some lady getting on her knees, put my dick in her mouth. I don't know. What is this? Yeah, exactly. And like one time I screamed, I'm like, Instagram, please stop sending me this.
You like wake up in a like cold sweat and you're like, thinking about it again.
Yeah, I just hate that sex culture that's taken.
Yeah.
I hate this whole sex Instagram culture, and it breaks my brain, and it doesn't help anyone, and they all do it. Girl has like 5 followers and is doing some kind of nudie thing in her underwear, like just dancing in her yard. Like, come on, why? I would much rather do something funny.
As a woman.
Yes,
like you are someone's future mother, probably. Like, yeah, and it's a more pervasive issue with women, of course. And it's like, you're either are a mother already, sadly, or you are like a future mother of a child who's now going to, like, that's going to be online. That doesn't go away. And the second that the kids figure out who your mom is,
there was a story. There was a story about.
I saw a story recently.
Yeah, you've seen it. You know it.
Like relentlessly bullied because his mom had like an OnlyFans and stuff, and don't put your children in those situations. Have respect for yourself. Have respect for like whether you have a partner or not. Respect for a partner or future partner. Have respect for your family. Like have respect for these people in your life that actually care about your well-being and not just like some superficial like image of you. We're so superficial in society today. We're so degrading. It's so gross. Like the fact that like even me growing up, I had a lot of insecurities, and I still do, right? Like I think everyone has some insecurities, but it was so much worse comparing myself to people on Instagram and Twitter.
I couldn't imagine
these models. It's so, especially for girls. Like for girls, we already have a hard time. We already struggle a lot because for all of the last, I don't know, maybe 40 years, modeling has gotten much more. I know I keep touching my hair. Can't help it. It's like really
nice.
soft.
I don't have any hair, so I'm pretty jealous.
I don't have any hair. But yeah, so it's one of those things. I can't get it to like sit right, so I'm trying to get it to sit right. But yeah, that's I'm gonna sit on my hands. So that's one of those things where like, I grew up and I had a lot of issues with that, and I would compare myself to other people, and I would be like, wow, I wish I looked like this model, and didn't care that the photo was probably significantly edited at the time. I didn't care about any of that. I wanted to look like them, right? And I still see that today, and every once in a while I'll be like, like, a guy you likes this model's photo, and then you're like, why did I look like that? And like that's still something that happens today, not as often. I'm much more confident than I used to be, but like it's still something that I'm like, like sometimes I see these girls who are just everyday girls, they're not models, and they're so pretty, and I'm like, oh my god, like
and they're wearing
that's
bikinis and
hard.
underwear for like a minute, for like a video for 4 people. Like, come on. But
Yeah, and
positive before you go to super chats, Miss. Someday before you go to super chats.
one day,
Yes,
get us
amen.
there.
Amen.
Get you guys.
What I like is that now more of the comments I see nowadays are dudes like, come on, please, like stop. Like,
Yeah, like I
lady,
want a wife. I don't want to.
not a wife. No,
whatever.
just please stop showing me your ass and your fucking stupid mouth sitting on your knees. A lot of people are getting tired of the whole slut culture.
Right. Like they're saying like I'm not here to look at that. Like,
right. Yeah.
I want to see
close your mouth.
respectful women.
Nobody cares.
Like literally, stop speaking, women. No, I'm kidding. But like close your mouth entirely. Don't even speak. No, but like.
I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, as my first day as trans,
say no.
Women, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and it's just everything is so promiscuous, and I sometimes will feel confident in something that's a bit more not like overtly showing everything, but a bit more like, and that's but I'm not walking around every single day with like and I technically like I don't think I've like ever really when I was younger I did that, but I don't think I really posted about like.
Hold on, I have an alarm. What the
fuck? Like that.
It might have been a child got kidnapped, but I threw my phone down.
Amber Alert. Yeah.
Sorry, kid. Sorry, kid.
I'm not gonna help find you. But yeah, I think that like there's a self-respect that comes with that, and a woman who respects herself enough to not have to use those superficial parts of herself to get a man.
Yeah.
Or to attention seek is much more of a woman than any of these other people posting this stuff. If you don't have respect for yourself enough to know that you don't need to use those things to truly find someone who loves and cares about you, then that's sad. Like that's just sad to me that people think that they need to have these superficial qualities to.
I think it's
beautiful.
for likes. It's for likes because I watch comedy, ladies, and they fucking. I enjoy a good story, a good skit is fun, or just living life is cool. Like, oh, look at my flowers, that's cool, but you don't need to. No.
Exactly.
Slut thing is terrible.
No, I agree. I agree. So, yeah, I think we'll end on a positive note. Oh, my cat's not in here. I thought to bring up Mocha, and then I was like, shoot, she's not in here.
Oh, my cats aren't here.
Shoot. Next time I will have her ready. She left right before we started live here, and of course I shut the door and didn't let her back in, and even said, if you don't want to come in, then fine, I'm not going to grab you during the show. And then I was like,
you said it with your teeth clenched like that. You're like, if you want to come in, fine.
I'm back in here. But I can show this tiny dumpster fire I recently made, like the one that you have. So there you go. Positive ending there. Little dumpster fires for y'all. Got Ted here, the boy. I don't know if y'all can see him.
Yeah, man, he's a big guy. He's a big fucker.
He's a big old boy.
Go
so
Ted. And go America.
Go America. That's right. Thank you. So thank you guys so much for watching our show today. Raymond, where can everybody find you online?
I'm Raymond G. Stanley on Twitter. I'm Turk Longwell on Instagram. I'm Raymond G. Stanley. Come to Discord. Come hang out. Live life.
Yeah, Timcast Discord. Come hang out with us.
We will win. We will win.
Anything else you want to shout out?
I wanted to shout out Dumpster Fire podcast with Olivia, Clara, and Derek, and I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to go on Patreon for $1, $3, or $5 a month. Get some exclusive content, super fun, super weird stuff that we don't post on here because, let's be honest, I'm cringy sometimes, and so we don't post it on here. But I will pay for it. You have permission to the cringe, okay? But you got to pay for it. So there'll be more articles, commentary. We're going to be working on that stuff. Also, we talked about a new segment that we're going to have coming soon for y'all. Okay, got that here. That is going to be very exciting, and I'm announcing it here first. We're going to be starting about bi-weekly or like once a month doing deep dives into issues that we care about, and we're going to be calling them dumpster dives. That's right.
Nice.
We're going to have some dumpster dives coming for
Nice.
you. We're going to have
Dope.
some great content. We're so excited for that. So y'all get to hear it here first. Yes, please like, share, subscribe. I'm so excited for that new section because I've always wanted to do those deep dive videos in a podcast format. Isn't always as easy, but we'll have them coming for you guys, and it's going to be great. My first one probably going to be about Pearly things because I have a lot that I've
really?
not heard about her. I have so much I know about her, and
man.
I've been in contact with an old friend of hers, and so I can literally she's a
Okay.
grifter, and I have proof.
Well,
is all I'm
sure.
saying.
Well, sure.
So, but I have proof of it. Now it's not just like you're a grifter.
No.
Now I have proof of the grift, and I'm gonna
Okay.
post about it.
Nice.
Anyways, you guys can follow me on social media at Olivia Claire 3 E's and Olivia 2 E's and Claire on any social media platform. I'm on Threads technically, but who the hell cares?
Who fuck cares?
And then you can follow Derek, my producer, at Real Derek Menson on Twitter, and you can of course follow our podcast to stay up to date at TD Fire Podcast. Don't forget to catch clips this week and shorts that we're going to start posting. We've got some really good ones from our last show. We're going to have some good ones from this show. And we're going to be working on more content. We will see you guys Friday with a brand new video. Have a great night and start to your week.
Go team.